गुरु में देवा सर्वदा पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो राम रतन धन पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो वस्तु अमोनिक मेरे सतगुरु वस्तु अमोनिक मेरे सतगुरु वस्तु अमोनिक मेरे सतगुरु वस्तु अमोनिक मेरे सतगुरु कृपा करो मैंने राम रतन धन पायो राम रतन धन पायो जन्म जन्म की पूजी पाई 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 प्रभु मैं सभी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो राम रतन धन पायो मैंने राम रतन धन पायो चरण फूटे चोरन फूटे चरण फूटे चोरन फूटे चरण फूटे चोरन फूटे चरण फूटे चोरन फूटे दिन दिन बड़ा सवार राम रतन धन पायो राम रतन धन पायो राम रतन धन पायो सतती नाम के बटिया सतगुरु सतती नाम के बटिया सतगुरु सतती नाम के बटिया सतगुरु सतती नाम के बटिया राम रतन राम रतन पायो।
गुरु गोविंद दोनों खड़े, किसको लागू पाए। बलिहारी गुरु आपनी, जिन्हें गोविंद दियो दिखाए। बलिहारी गुरु आपनी, जिन्हें गोविंद दियो दिखाए। जो गुरु कृपा करो पे,
जो गुरु कृपा करो पे,
गुरु कृपा करो पे,
जो गुरु कृपा करो पे,
कोटि पाप कटत पल पल में,
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 जो गुरु कृपा करो पे,
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 गुरु की महिमा हरि सो भारी, गुरु की महिमा हरि सो भारी, वेद पुराण सत ही विचारी, वेद पुराण सत ही विचारी, ब्रह्मा व्यास रटे पल पल में, ब्रह्मा व्यास
पल पल में, जो गुरु कृपा करो पे, जो गुरु कृपा करो पे,
नमन नमन करू गुरु चरणन में, नमन नमन करू गुरु चरणन में, अठ सत तीरथ उन चरणन में, अठ सत तीरथ उन चरणन में, पूरन होती मनोरथ मन की, पूरन होती मनोरथ मन की,
जो गुरु कृपा करो पे, जो गुरु कृपा करो पे,
जन्म जन्म के भाग्य खुले के भाग्य खुले हैं, आनंद में दर्श मिले हैं, आनंद में दर्श मिले हैं, जन्म जन्म के भाग्य खुले हैं, आनंद में दर्श मिले हैं, कृपा बनी रहे दासन की, कृपा बनी रहे दासन की,
मीठे रस से भरले राधा रानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, राधे कारो कारो जन्ना जी मस्तानी लागे, मीठे रस से भरले राधा रानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, राधे कारो कारो जन्ना जी मस्तानी लागे, रस से भरले राधा रानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, राधे कारो कारो जन्ना जी मस्तानी लागे, रस से भरले राधा रानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, राधे कारो कारो जन्ना जी मस्तानी लागे, जन्ना मैया काली काली राधा गोरी गोरी, 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 जन्ना बंदी झूम जावे दर्शने की छोरी, रावण में डूब जावे हंसाई की छोरी, राजा धाम राधा जी की राजा रानी लागे, राजा रानी लागे, हमें लागे तारो तारो रानी लागे, मीठे रस से भरी राधा रानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, हमें जीरो पानी लागे, रस से भरले राधा रानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, हमें कारो कारो जन्ना जी मस्तानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, राधा रानी लागे, हमें कारो कारो जीरो पानी लागे, ताना मुझे तेरे सुमरन बारंबार, ताना मुझे तेरे सुमरे बारंबार, ताना मुझे तेरे सुमरन बारंबार, ताना मुझे तेरे सुमरे बारंबार, पता है कारो यमुनाजी नो पानी लागे मीठे रस से भरी राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन्ने कारो कारो यमुनाजी नो पानी लागे रस से भरी राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन्ने कारो कारो यमुनाजी नो पानी लागे रस से भरी राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन्ने कारो कारो यमुनाजी नो पानी लागे बाबा रे बिसरी अपना कोई मनाई बाबा रे मन बापर बिसरी अपना कोई मिठाई बाबा रे मन बापर बिसरी अपना कोई मिठाई बाबा रे मन बापर बिसरी अपना कोई मिठाई अब तो डाले दाता नाम बुलाए जीवयानी भावे अब तो राधा नाम बनाए रस भंगी तो गुड़ धानी लागे हमें कारो कारो गंगा जी नो पानी लागे रस से भरी राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन्ने कारो कारो गंगा जी नो पानी लागे रस से भरी राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन्ने कारो कारो गंगा जी नो पानी लागे राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन्ने कारो कारो गंगा जी नो पानी लागे राधा राधा नाम रटते जो आठों नाम 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 तुमकी बाबा झूठ करते राधा राधा नाम तुमकी बाबा झूठ करते राधा राधा नाम राधा नाम में सपना जिंदगानी लागे जिंदगानी लागे हमें कारो कारो गंगा जी नो पानी लागे रस से भरी राधा रानी लागे राधा रानी लागे मन्ने कारो कारो यमुना जी नो पानी लागे कारो कारो गंगा जी नो पानी लागे
लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरम् राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथम् कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुण श्री
रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुण
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुण
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जगवल्लभ जय गोपी जगवल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर मुरली मनोहर मुरली मनोहर करुणा सागर 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 जय गोवर्धनधारी जय बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन भज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन भज Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We're asked to show some new development in the physical health and mental health of the patient with the coronavirus. And we are fortunate that in our group, we have a few experts who can guide us with what is the new development with our COVID-19 pandemic. And we have Dr. Brijesh Patel, who is sitting next to on my left. He's a pulmonary and intensive care specialist. And on my right is sitting Dr. Jitendra Desai, who is a psychiatrist. So we'll start with the first, with what is the physical problems with the COVID-19, and Dr. Brijesh Patel will give us some tips.
Yeah, thank you very much again. So we all have heard about, COVID since almost about a year ago, right? COVID-19, that's where the name comes from, coronavirus disease. Initially found in December 2019 in China, first case. And what we know so far that this virus, again, there are viruses you all hear about, flu virus, different viruses that we encounter on day-to-day life. But this particular virus had crossed over from the animal world to the human world. And we all know the sequela thereof. Now, one may say, how is it different from any other viruses? The flu virus that we get every year, that we discuss and talk about every year during the winter season and fall season. It's just that this particular virus, again, has a very robust response. The body has an immune response that it tries to fight. And when it infects the cells, and you get it through the mucosa, the eye mucosa, the nasal mucosa, the oral mucosa, touching other places, and getting it into you, or through droplet, like if you're speaking, talking, singing, all of this creates particles that are dispersed in the environment or in your near environment. And if you are infected and then the viral load is higher, meaning the virus is replicating at a very high rate, and body is trying to fight it, but if they haven't conquered that part, you get this viral burst with all this particles that you may be creating, and you can infect somebody else if they are not careful, if they are not washing their hands, if they are not careful by not touching their eyes or the T-zone. They call the T-zone, the forehead and the nose and the mouth, and they can get it themselves. Now, once the virus gets into the body, either through the nasopharynx or the oral airway to the lungs, because that's how we breathe in, and there may be very minute particles that the virus can be carried through into the lungs, and that's where it flourishes rather. And as it tries to replicate through the cellular mechanism, remember it's a virus, so it cannot replicate by its own. It needs something else to kind of give all the materials and supplies to produce more of it. And this particular virus is then takes over the cells in the lungs, and it starts replicating. And if you cough, sneeze, then again, there are more of them. They are more in the infective phase that are dispersed in the environment if you're not careful. And the immune system realizes, oh, there is something foreign, something else is happening. So the immune system tries to contain this virus and tries to, mount an immune response rather. And in the fight between the virus and the body or the immune system, you see the damage that occurs in the organs that are involved. And since it's a respiratory virus, again, it ends up in the lungs, you see that the lungs are affected. You also see other signs, symptoms together with this, like, the body's overall response, like mounting a fever, so that if the temperature is high enough, the bacteria or the virus cannot replicate more. So, you will see fevers. There is a interplay again with the immune system trying to produce so many chemicals to gather all the ammunition and armory of other, white cells to the site of infection that's in the lungs. But these chemicals that are released by the immune system gives the body other signs and symptoms like, muscle aches, not feeling well, tiredness, and all this stuff. And in this fight between, again, trying to overcome the virus is still trying to replicate and damage other cells that are around, and the body's immune response, you see that there is damage occurring. So now we have problems breathing because the lungs cannot, get the oxygen where it needs to, and participate in the oxygen exchange. And that's where you see, the spectrum of symptoms, just from minor cold, flu-like symptoms, all the way to respiratory failure and multi-organ failure due to this heightened immune response in the body. So, you see people of different age groups, or younger, older. Mostly you see that the people who are affected mainly with, life-threatening illness or disease due to COVID are people who have are immunocompromised, so elderly patients, patients who are on chemotherapy, patients who are dealing with other disease processes that they are dealing with, diabetes, blood pressure, all of this. So you see that the patients in the higher age group, they are affected more and unfortunately succumb to the disease and die from this. Whereas younger patients population, again, not without so much other comorbidities, they do okay with this flu-like symptoms. But we also have heard that they are also at times, they don't do well. And that's all depends on the immune response to the body and how the body is dealing with the virus.
Very good, Dr. Patel. You have covered most of my questions, what people have asked me. But there's one question I think you're not covered. Maybe definitely everybody will be vaccinated. You
Right.
definitely all the people should take the vaccine, right?
Right. I did get mine a few days ago.
Very good.
So again, apart from a little bit soreness in the arm, where you have the vaccine.
So in simple word, will you please tell the lay people what's the best thing to do to protect one person to other person?
Now remember, vaccine does not protect you from getting the virus. So you still should be careful with, again, hand hygiene, wearing a mask, not touching the T-zone, again, and practicing social distancing. And that way you are not, again, infecting others if you have it. And remember, the vaccine mounts or is ready for the virus if you get it. So it's not that once I get the vaccine, I'm not going to get the virus. You can still get it. It's just that the vaccine will prepare you or get your body ready so that when you do get it, you don't have the full, immune play, and the body can contain the virus faster and sooner than what the damage could have been.
Good. And even though you get had a coronavirus infection, still you should take the vaccine, right?
Right, you can again, depending on, because the immune response somehow right now we are still learning about it. This is very new. Again, it's a year since we have some new disease, but the immune response may not last that long either. So again, same thing as the flu vaccine, we take the flu shot every year for different strains. And remember, the virus has the capacity and capability of mutating, and even though it is a coronavirus right now, there are news you hear there are some other strains that are developing. So it's again about trying to contain this, so this particular virus cannot be spread and then does not have much time to do what it's doing.
Okay, and the last question: if one family member is infected, how they can protect the other family member, and what's the incubation period, or how long they should stay or quarantine?
Right. So we have heard all about, you can also spread the virus even before having the program. I mean, all these signs that you can talk about or think about, loss of taste, smell, all the flu-like symptoms, but quarantining and isolating for at least 14 days is now the consensus. It was about 21 days, but we have seen that it can be contained in 14 days too, again, from the spread and the risk of spreading. Making sure the environment, the common areas, if the person is still in the house, again, they are wearing masks, other family members are wearing masks, again, hand hygiene, cleaning the common used areas. Again, quarantining in a room is the best thing, but remember to keep hand hygiene, again, masks, so to further stop the spread.
Okay, now let me go to Dr. Desai, who is going to tell us about the mental health, which is very important with this COVID-19 infection. And I think people are not giving much attention to that. Most of the news media, everybody. Right. So let's see what he says.
Thank you very much. Wanting to share as much as I can in the time that is allotted to us. My remarks will be mainly for the scope of the problem and then the coping mechanisms that we need to employ, how best to deal with it. So what is the scope of the problem? CDC released a report in June of this year where they're saying that all the psychiatric problems have tripled, anxiety being the most frequent one, depression, and substance use. And unlike with the medical issues of coronavirus, where elderly people are at high risk, this report shows that young people are at a very high risk for developing anxiety, depression, and substance use problem. And there's a reason for that. Young people don't handle uncertainty very well. All their life plans have been shattered, if you will. And so they are having a more difficult time dealing with this. And school children as well. And I'm sure, Varsha, you're going to be talking about that a little bit. But school children, their schedule is totally disrupted with virtual schooling and all that. So the high risk for these kinds of issues is for the younger people. And when I say younger people, I mean the age group of 18 to 24. And believe me, we are all in this together. This is a shared experience. This is happening to everybody. The uncertainty, the anxiety, and that's something we need to look at carefully. 1 in 5 people knows about somebody who has had COVID-19 infection, and 1 in 10 have known about somebody who has died from COVID-19. These are startling statistics, and it is affecting all of us. And we are sailing in the same boat. The fact that we are sailing in the same boat means that we can help each other. And that brings me to the coping mechanisms. And there are 4 domains that I would talk about. The physical domain, what can we do physically that's different? Besides practicing all the safe practices that Brijesh talked about, we need to become more active. We need to exercise regularly, good nutrition, and doing more outdoor kinds of experiences. In my particular case, and Varsha's case, we have enjoyed playing golf. And golf is a safe experience to go out there and not be afraid of catching it from somebody else. So as much as you can avoid close contact, as Brijesh was saying, any outdoor activity is fine. So going for a jog, going for a walk, all those things will be very helpful. In terms of the emotional domain, we have to stay positive. In psychiatry, we believe that whatever we focus on expands, especially with the holiday season approaching us. If we focus on the negatives, if we focus on the grief, if we focus on the guilt, all those negative emotions will expand and will consume us all entirely. So we need to stay positive. Glass is half full. It may be half empty, but it is half full. We want to stay connected, whether virtually or in reality. We need to stay connected. More phone calls, more Zoom meetings, more events like this. I feel very connected to the entire world doing this. And believe me, it's a very, very special experience for us all to be doing this. And I want to congratulate Ms. Aparna Anand that she has really generated the feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you very much for making this happen. In terms of social domain, we want to make sure that we don't isolate. When they talked about social distancing, what they meant, I think it was a misnomer. What they meant was physical distancing, not social distancing. So we don't want to isolate. We want to reach out and touch someone. We want to restrict our TV watching, especially the news. And I need to work on that myself. And try to help others. When we help others, we feel like $1,000,000. And that's very important. And lastly, the spiritual domain. In the spiritual domain, we want to become more inward oriented. We want to become more directed and connected with the higher power. We want to pray for better angels out there in the world. And we want to continue to remind us that this too shall pass. So I've always heard that brevity is the soul of wit and profoundness. And I will give you 6 words to remember. 6 words are clean house, help others, accept change. Those are the 6 words. Instead of complaining about how things have changed, we want to accept the change. Acceptance goes a long way. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. The vaccine is out. And 6 months or a year from now, we'll be gathering for a totally different purpose. So during these holidays, it is important. Holidays are highways to nostalgia and grief and guilt and all those negative feelings. So we want to really, really do something in terms of positive thinking. We can reminisce about last Christmas, but we should not get caught up in the past. Thank you very much.
There was good cover, Dr. Desai, and I think you have covered most of the questions what they asked. Maybe even the health worker, they are also in trouble, right? So do you want to say something about the health worker too, with the post-traumatic stress?
There are two groups that we really need to focus on. In the Indian diaspora, most Indian households are multi-generational households. And the sandwich generation, the generation in the middle, is taking care of their elderly parents, and they're taking care of their children as well. They are at a high risk. CDC report, in fact, thank you for reminding me, CDC report focuses on that. So any multi-generational household, the caregiver is going to be at a high risk for burnout very fast. And the healthcare workers, doctors are used to curing people, and they come in, swoop in like Superman, Superwoman, and they take care of the problem, and everything is done, and the person goes home healthy and happy. Well, that is not happening with COVID-19. The mortality rate is higher than your regular other illnesses, and that creates a burnout. And the most frequent concern I hear from healthcare workers is that the patient is dying alone. They cannot get in touch with the family, cannot visit, and that has been really on the minds of healthcare workers. And they've come up with pretty nice solutions like FaceTime, phone call with the family members. But just imagine that the family members can't be with the person, their loved one, during their last few breaths. And so families are paying dearly for this, and healthcare workers are also paying dearly for this. And any chronic disaster, 9/11 came and went in 3 hours, but any chronic disaster, like we're having 9/11 kind of fatalities every day on a daily basis lately, that has a way of creating very chronic, high level of stress for all of us. The adrenaline release just continues on and stays up all the time. So we really need to find some ways to release that. And hobbies, exercise, prayer, meditation, all those things are extremely helpful.
Very good.
Thank
and
you.
let me ask you one more question. If you're in your office, if one worker is sick with the corona, how will you handle the whole situation? You will isolate them, or you stop talking to them, or how will you comfort them?
Well,
office worker and the rest of the workers in the office too.
Yeah, it depends on how sick the person is, how sick the employee is. If they're very sick, you send them to the emergency room right away. Otherwise, you send them home. If they are able to walk and talk and all that, and not require them to come to work for anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks. CDC has narrowed the isolation period from 14 days to 10 days, especially if you are not terribly sick. So we're learning as we go.
Thank you very much for listening to us. Bye.
Thank you, Roanoke Bhajan Group. We loved the Bhajans, and the panel discussion was extremely informational. Our last program of the day is by the Sai Bhajan Group from San Diego. We have with us today Shri Ravi Ji and Srimati Shri Priya Ji, along with their children Shashwati and Avinash. They are very ardent devotees of Shri Satya Sai Baba and are a part of the Northeast San Diego Sai Center. As a part of the center, as well as the regional organization, they have been a part of numerous bhajan sessions singing the Lord's name. They truly believe that singing bhajans with full devotion not only purifies one's heart, but also creates positive energy and vibrations in the community. Please take a moment and pray for all the people affected by the impact of COVID and keep them in your mind as we start the Bhajans.
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। लंबोदरा गणनाथ गजानन लंबोदरा गणनाथ गजानन पार्वती नंदन शुभानना पार्वती नंदन शुभानना पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक प्रणवाकार शंभो नंदन प्रणवाकार शंभो नंदन पतिपुरीशा पाहि गजानन पतिपुरीशा पाहि गजानन पार्वती नंदन शुभानना पार्वती नंदन शुभानना लंबोदरा गणनाथ गजानन पार्वती नंदन शुभानना पशुपति तनया सिद्धि विनायक प्रणवाकार शंभो नंदन हरिपुरीशा पाहि गजानन पार्वती नंदन शुभानना पार्वती नंदन शुभानना लंबोधरा गणनाथ गजानन
वन्दे साई जगद्गुरु वन्दे साई जगद्गुरु वन्दे साई जगद्गुरु शिरडी साई जगद्गुरु
शिरडी साई जगद्गुरु शिरडी साई जगद्गुरु
वन्दे साई जगद्गुरु
द्वारकमाय श्री सत्य साई द्वारकमाय श्री सत्य साई जगद्गुरु साई प्रेम गुरु जगद्गुरु साई प्रेम गुरु वन्दे साई शिरडी साई जगद्गुरु वन्दे साई जगद्गुरु द्वारकमाय श्री सत्य साई जगद्गुरु साई प्रेम गुरु जगद्गुरु साई प्रेम गुरु वन्दे साई जगद्गुरु
देवी साई मां देवी सरस्वती मां
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 दुर्गा भवानी मां काली कपालिनी 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 मां
जगदोधारी मां
जगदोधारिणी जगदोधारिणी सत्य साई दया सत्य साई दया साई माँ तेरी सरस्वती दुर्गा भवानी माँ काली कपालिनी माँ जगदोधारिणी माँ सत्य साई दया सत्य साई दया देवी साई माँ देवी सरस्वती माँ
राम नाम तारकं सदा भजोरे
राम नाम तारकं
सदा भजोरे राम नाम तारकं सदा भजोरे
राम नाम तारकं
सदा भजोरे सदा भजोरे सदा जपोरे
सदा भजोरे सदा जपोरे सदा भजोरे सदा जपोरे राम नाम तारकं सदा भजोरे राम 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 जय कोदंड रामा राम 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 जय कोदंड रामा राम 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 जय पटाभिरामा राम 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 जय पटाभिरामा राम 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 जय कल्याण रामा राम 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 जय कल्याण रामा राम राम तारकं सदा भजोरे सदा भजोरे सदा जपोरे राम राम तारकं सदा भजोरे राम 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 जय कोदंड रामा राम 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 जय पटाभिरामा राम 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 जय कल्याण रामा राम 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 जय कल्याण रामा राम राम तारकं सदा भजोरे कृष्ण माधव
Madhava Krishna.
Krishna Madhava, Madhava Krishna.
Krishna Madhava, Madhava Krishna.
Krishna Madhava, Madhava Krishna.
Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare.
Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare.
Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare.
Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare.
Vrindavana Sanchari Shama Gopala. Vrindavana Sanchari Shama Gopala. Jaya Madhusudhana Jaya Nandalala. Jaya Madhusudhana Jaya Nandalala. Jule na jule mere Sai Nandalala. Jule na jule mere Sai Nandalala. Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare. Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare. Krishna Madhava, Madhava Krishna. Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare. Vrindavana Sanchari Shama Gopala. Jaya Madhusudhana Jaya Nandalala. Jule na jule mere Sai Nandalala. Jule na jule mere Sai Nandalala. Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare. Krishna Madhava, Hari Hare. Krishna Madhava, Madhava Krishna.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya,
Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya.
Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva,
Samba Sada Shiva, Girija Shankara Namah Shivaya. Girija Shankar Namah Shivaya. Bhavani Shankar Namah Shivaya. Bhavani Shankar Namah Shivaya. Lingobhav kare sai manohar. Lingobhav kare sai manohar. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Samvatara. Girija Shankar Namah Shivaya. Bhavani Shankar Namah Shivaya. Godhav kare sai manohar. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Samba Sada Shiva Namah Shivaya. Baba Murugaya Vadivelada. Baba Murugaya Vadivelada. Baba Murugaya Vadivelada. Baba Murugaya Vadivelada. Baba Kumara Kartikeya. Baba Kumara Kartikeya. Baba Murugaya Vadivelada. Shingara Vela Shiva Shakti Bala. Shingara Vela Shiva Shakti Bala. Sangeetha Lola Satya Saisha. Sangeetha Lola Satya Saisha. Baba Murugaya Vadivelada. Baba Kumara Kartikeya. Baba Murugaya Vadivelada. Shingara Vela Shakti Bala Sangeetha Lola Satya Sai Baba Muruga Vadi Baba Muruga Baba Muruga Baba Muruga Baba Muruga Baba Muruga Baba Muruga Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Satya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Bhakta Jana Samrakshaka Ati Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shashivadana Shikara Sarva Pranapati Swami Sarva Pranapati Ashruta Kalpalapita Ashruta Kalpalapita Apadmata Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Guru Deva Mariya Kayunire Swami Mariya Kayunire Nara Brahma Jagannatha Nara Brahma Jagannatha Narendra Shayana Om Jai Jagadish Hare Omkara Rupa Ojasvi Om Sai Mahadeva Satya Sai Mahadeva Mangalarati Anduko Mangalarati Anduko Mangaladipari Om Jai Jagadish Hare Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Please do stay safe, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to sing our Lord's name. Sairam.
Thank you, Rabiji, Shripriya Ji, Shashwati, and Avinash. That was a beautiful rendering of Bhajans. What a calming and peaceful way to end today's program. We thank you all for tuning in to day 2, our special Sunday program of Marghazi Sangeetha Utsavam. We hope you enjoyed the program, and please do join us again tomorrow. We have concert performances by Kumari B. R. Shruti from India and Chiranjeevi, Pranav Kekeri from the US. Do tune in, support, and encourage these artists. Please follow Andam Live's music on Facebook to get all the latest updates. Thank you all. Thank you to all the performers who performed amazingly today, and see you all tomorrow. Thank you.